before the video starts, I just want you guys to know that I am a bit sick today. My nose is all stuffy and my throat hurts. So sorry if I do sound a bit weird or I'm a bit too quiet. You know, I do my best when I'm sick, so yeah. Let's get right into the video. Yo, what's up everyone? Retro Gamer Chris here, and today we're going to be doing a review on the Nintendo 64. Alright, the Nintendo 64 was the first 3D graphic home console made by Nintendo. Now, you might think the Virtual Boy was the first. It was the first 3D graphic handheld, quote unquote. It's not really a home console, it's a handheld or just a weird device that pretty much failed. But yeah, this was the first 3D home console that Nintendo has made, and it's a really great console. So let's check out more about it. In Japan, the Nintendo 64 was released June 23rd, 1996. It was released 3 months later in America, September 26, 1996, and in Europe was released 6 months later, March 1997. The Nintendo 64 had great third-party support. Some of its best third-party creators were Rareware, which made Donkey Kong Country and Conker's Bad Fur Day, and also one of Nintendo's best third-party creators, Konami. A downside about the Nintendo 64 was that it still used cartridges. I love cartridge-based consoles so much. People always ask me why. I just love plugging in a cartridge into a console. This might sound a bit weird, but it just sounds satisfying. Yeah. You guys probably think I'm weird. But basically, discs, they could store way more storage than a cartridge like the Nintendo 64 cartridge. So that means the games are a bit less than the other games. The reason Nintendo didn't switch to discs was because of piracy. So basically, it was way easier to pirate discs than cartridge games. But nowadays it's way more easier, but back then it wasn't as easy. Now, the launch titles for this was Super Mario 64. Another launch title was Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and many more launch titles. Now let's take a look at the console. The Nintendo 64 is a top-loaded console, which means cartridges go in from the top. Now, the Nintendo 64 was actually the first console to have 4 controller ports, as you can see here. You also had a little place where expansion pack and memory cards go. Right now I have a jumper pack in there, which replaces the absence of the expansion pack, which you can use to play Donkey Kong Country and other games that require it. It also has a reset button and a power button. Obviously you need those. Right here, whenever it's powered on, there will be a red LED light. And you have a nice little Nintendo 64 logo right there. On the bottom, you can see we have the controller deck and the console information. And right here, the barcode. This Nintendo 64 is actually in really great condition. And then right here are your stands, so when your Nintendo 64 is down, it doesn't damage your table or wherever it's on. And you have an extension port right here, which is for the Nintendo 64 CD, the CD player. And the console screwed on with security bits. And then these little panels right here is for your AV cable and your power brick. And right here you have the little Nintendo maintenance hotline right there. Now the controller. A lot of people don't really love or love the Nintendo 64 controller. But I really love the controller actually. I just think it looks cool. People think it looks weird, but I just think it looks cool. It's just the shape it just looks like a nice controller. People say it's uncomfortable, but whoever plays the Nintendo 64 like this, that's only for if you have like the NES games that you're able to play on it. That's for like the D-pad. But most of the time you hold it from the middle. Like, I have not played it once like this. Because the games you play, you really don't need that. But besides that, the analog stick, this does wear down pretty easily, and it'll start getting really wobbly and loose. But if that ever happens to you, just watch this video in the link in the description to help fix that problem. Then you got your C stick right here. Not really a C stick, but your C buttons right here. Your A and B button. It's the first time people have ever seen an A button blue and the B button's green. I feel like they should have done the green as the A, the red as the B, and the blue as the start button. Like, and got your back Z button. It's like one of your trigger buttons, and you also got the 2 shoulder buttons on the top. You could also plug in a memory card on the controller, which I really like. This is a Super Memory Card 1000, which means 1000 blocks, which is basically gigabytes, or like the storage, basically. So you could put a memory card in your Nintendo 64, which is the expansion pack, or you can put a memory card into your controller. And that is the Nintendo 64 controller. To plug it up, you'll need your console. You'll need a power brick right here. This is the third-party power brick, but the third-party power bricks actually work better than the actual Nintendo power brick. And you also need AV cables, with not a double AV cable, but one that's like this. Plug in your power brick plug into an outlet. Turn your Nintendo 64 around and plug in the power brick right there. You'll see that right there. That basically goes into there. And if you ever want to take it out, you just press down on a button right here. It just takes a little bit of force and comes right out. Now take your AV port or your AV in and plug it in there. Now plug the AV cables into the corresponding colors. Red goes up here. White goes right there. And yellow goes there. Now get a game. For this one, we're going to be using Super Mario 64. And plug in your controller. Now the game goes in, label facing front. Turn on your TV. And change the input to the correct one. For me, it's front. Oh, there. If it will, come on. Always gotta be so boring. There we go. And now, get to playing your Nintendo 64.